What's up, YouTube family? So today I want to talk to you about reading the Bible consistently, reading the Bible every single day. So we know that reading the Bible is very important to our spiritual life. Jesus said that man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that proceeds or comes from the mouth of God. We also know that the Bible is God's primary method or primary means of revealing himself to us. So reading the Bible is very, very important to our spiritual life. It is necessary. It is an imperative. It is our spiritual food. So today I'm filming this at the end of December, and every year at this time there are multiple plans that come out describing how you can read the Bible through in an entire year. And most of these plans cover from Genesis to Revelation, and they describe how you'll read a couple of chapters, 2 or 3 chapters each day, and by the end of the year you have already read the entire Bible. And if you have not read through the entire Bible at least once, I strongly recommend that you try one of those plans. However, if you have read through the Bible once before, you've already got that overview, then I want to suggest to you 2 different plans that you can use to dig a little bit deeper. Instead of focusing on the entire Bible, reading a few chapters each day, both of these plans focus on taking a book of the Bible, a book of the New Testament, and reading more in depth. So the first plan is recommended by Pastor John MacArthur. He's a pastor in California. And in this plan, he recommends that you take a book of the Bible, a book of the New Testament, and you read it every day repeatedly for 30 days. So for example, if you were to take the book of 1 John, you'd read through 1 John every single day for 30 days. And as you're reading through it every single day, you're thinking about what you're reading. You're also trying to create chapter titles of the themes of each chapter. So by the end of 30 days, you really know the book of 1 John very well. So under this plan, if you were reading a larger book of the Bible, such as the Gospel of John or the Gospel of Luke, you would not read the entire book every day for 30 days. Instead, you would go ahead and break it up into smaller sections. You might read, for example, the Gospel of John, chapters 1 through 7 during the first 30-day period, and then you read the next 7 chapters during the next month, and then the final 7 chapters during the last month. So over a period of 3 months, you have read the book of John, the Gospel of John, 30 times, and you've also sought to create chapter titles with it. Okay, so this is a great plan, and I've used this many times myself and derived a lot of benefit from it. But what I want to share with you is a modification of this a little bit differently. But this last plan is not built upon how many chapters you read each day, but it is built upon the amount of time that you read. So in this last plan, you would carve out about a 20-minute section of your day each day, and you'd read for 20 minutes. You take a New Testament book and you read it for 20 minutes a day, and you would do this for 2 weeks. So for example, if you were taking the book of 1 John or the book of Philippians, you would finish that in 20 minutes. You'd read it for 20 minutes, and you'd read it every single day. As you're reading it, similar to the MacArthur plan, you'd also be thinking about what are the themes of the chapter, what can I make a chapter title for it. You'd be kind of thinking through what you're reading. So by the end of 2 weeks, you might have read 1 John 14 times, Philippians 14 times. If you're looking at, say, the book of John, the Gospel of John, then you would have read it by that time maybe 3 or 4 times. And if you look at even larger books, such as the Gospel of Luke, you might find you've only read it twice, maybe in a 14-day period. But if that's the case, you can always, if you desire, add on an additional week. There's no problem with that. So another component of this plan is that as you are reading through whatever book you picked, you're thinking through the content of that book, and you're creating chapter titles, as I've already said. Well, when it gets to the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, in addition to reading, I would recommend that you think about, like on Saturday and Sunday, think about what the book is saying, think about how it fits together, think about, mentally go through in your mind maybe an outline of the book, and just really think about how it fits with all of Scripture. And then finally, on Sunday, as you're listening to your pastor's sermon, then I would also like for you to think about how the book that you're reading connects with the message of your pastor. Now, usually, most of the time, the message your pastor is given on Sunday is not going to be from the same book that you are reading. However, the Bible has a lot of connections between each one. So as you are reading through Scripture, and then you are listening to your pastor, you can see those connections. For example, I've been reading through the book of Ephesians for the last couple of weeks, and last week our pastor talked about how Christ was a gift from God. He came to us, and as I'm listening to this and I'm thinking about the message, I'm thinking about the book that I read, that I also see that there is a passage in the book of Ephesians where it talks about God has given the church gifted men. So see, I'm making that connection between what the pastor said and also the connection between the book itself that I've just been reading. Also, during that same message, the pastor talked about how with Christ brings forgiveness. There's also a passage in Ephesians that talks about how we have been forgiven, and so we should also forgive. So as you're reading through, you're making connections, because ultimately the Bible is not given to us just to increase our knowledge. More importantly, it's given to us so we have a relationship with God and that we are transformed. We become more and more like Jesus Christ. So the purpose of Bible reading is not primarily going to be information and knowledge, although that is great, but it's going to be primarily life transformation. So if you have used any of these plans or any plan similar to this, leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me kind of know. Also, if you enjoyed this content and if you found value in this video, click the like button, and also if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, consider doing so. Thanks for watching.